Hello, hello. Namaste. Well, for this video I wanted to talk about, as the title might suggest, the being in the now and the understanding of having your consciousness, your emotional consciousness, to call it that, your being itself, enjoying the now. It can be very difficult, especially in our modern society, to enjoy this sometimes because, as you guys well know, we are overstimulated and bombarded with a variety of suggestions all the time, advertisements for different things, all this sort of stuff. When it comes down to spirituality and finding the self, the eternal self, there are a few different opinions, and some people are sort of led to believe that it's something coming later. The kingdom of heaven is after, or I will be happy when I have attained such and such, when my conditions are better, when I have more money, when I have this job or this endeavor manifested finally, when I find the right person to live with, when I've done something meaningful, etc., etc. So, as people have been saying for a long time, that we are always planning to be happy, and because it's always a plan, or it's on pause, such and such equals that until thereafter. This is why we all can have a hard time. But the main thing is for us to understand, if we're going to use the word enlightenment or having the kingdom of heaven inside of us, and it is to be inside before it's ever understood as a needed externalized place, we can do it by finding our peace in the now. We can call it many names, but I try to think of what titles to put for my videos, and I wanted to put the name Buddha in the sense of we are all to become Buddhas, essentially, meaning stabilized, balanced, in a calm and in a joy, in a good love that has a lot of understanding, even to understand a lot of what we might consider foul or wicked things or distressful things, but to get an appreciation of why they must be. When we can get a good understanding of nowness, then we are understanding isness. Now, people have many names for God and may say this or that, or the universe, the source. We can call it what we like, what is our preference, naturally. I often like to say isness for the sake of the universe, or that which is. And then there is, yes, manifested things coming in and manifested things coming out. But all belonging to the is, to the source, to God, or whatever we like to call it. Now, we are taught when we are young that do such and such and achieve that. We're always looking forward to get something. Go to school, get a job, to get a career, have this, that, and the other thing. These can bring moments of joy and they can bring some satisfaction. But the greatest satisfaction of all is, I really truly believe, to come to the moment we are very much happy seeing ourselves as an isness, eternal beings, and looking at the universe from this sort of standpoint. We can call this the Buddha mind, that we all are able to attain, keep it. It is up to each person to find it internally. Because if we're always searching for it on the outside, even when we were doing that, it was to find the mode of peace inside, right? Well, since that is the case then, perhaps a person, if they want to be alleviated from sadness, from anger, from sufferings, the more we have our stability in the balance now, then we are surely going to be well equipped to at least better, if not always perfectly, handle what's going on around us and our surroundings, the circumstances we find ourselves in, the interactions we have with anything, basically, whether person, place, or thing. As many have said from Western and, of course, Eastern thought, Northern and Southern for that matter, that keep planning to be happy, keep wanting to find heaven, or when I die I'll get it, or this and that I'll get it. The real message is we can have not only a glimpse, but a good awareness and appreciation of it, even at any moment that we want to, because it always is there, and it always is available. So, I like to always say this is what my recent understandings have brought me to understand that to find the kingdom of heaven or to find enlightenment, it's not a matter of necessarily of seeing it like going up steps or building a pyramid to the top. Funny imagery of the modern times. It's not about that necessarily. It's not about necessarily running a race and waiting for a finish line. Because when we have this idea, thinking always of the future, well, as many have said, the future isn't now. So if you want to be happy now, you want to be alleviated from stress and pains now, we can do it right now, if we want to, because it is right there. The isness is, and we also belong to it. It sounds like a funny Zen riddle, but it's like this. Our suchness exists in the isness. We, all of us, are already eternal. And depending on how we want to associate ourselves, but we already are. And bodies come and go, it doesn't really matter. We get to the point where finding it inside truthfully in the now and being calm and happy with it, bringing us joy, bringing us the mode of being that we were always looking for. Because ultimately, who does not want to be happy? Even when people might look for misery intentionally, or have sadistic qualities unto the self or unto others, whatever we want to call it, masochistic, it was still to do that kind of punishment. It was still, I'll do that, and then when I've done enough, then I can be happy after that. But it's still a quest to be happy. Everybody knows this, and yet we're always busy on telling ourselves actions and reactions have to occur, this and that, until I see it. I want to suggest something. This can be my theme of talking about authentic Buddhism or yoga or even shamanism, mystical awareness. There's so many names. Christ consciousness. It doesn't matter what name we want to call it. It's just style, discipline. But this great understanding can come to us by when we want to. And my suggestion is this. We already have it. You already are Buddha. You already are Christ. So the question is, what can we do to take away the clutter that is there and realize we are that, even right now? Even right now. We can have a taste of it and even keep a lot of it. Even a great deal of it. I observe people and I watch them go from kids and adults, and I see people younger and older than my current body, and that's the age of their bodies, and I see various people on different paths. We all are where we are at, right? But I see a lot of people keep themselves conditioned in the sense that they're waiting for an external something to happen to give them that peace or that joy that they're looking for. When I die and go to heaven, then I'll be happy. When I get this new house I'm trying to get, for example, then I'll be happy. All these things, you make up your own examples. But since we are eternal already, and since we understand that there is an enlightenment of sorts, whichever name we want to call it, if it is attainable, then we can stop saying that it is attainable later. When? If only. Now someone can say, well, how do I do this? Well, it's not for anyone to tell you how to do it. You and I must find how we might like to do it. There are lots of suggestions. One of the best things to do that has been done all cultures going far back in history is silent soul reflection. You may call it a meditation. You may do this sitting down, sitting in a chair, lying down, walking, doesn't really matter. Anything that we might do that gives us the familiarity with our isness in the now and being happy in the now. It is an individual choice. Free will is there. We are bombarded in a modern society with lots of things, but we can choose to take the time to put some things on a suspended mode, put them on pause, and realize our nowness, and be very happy in our nowness. When we're in the body, and when we're taught to believe lots of things, we can have lots of anxiety. I know this too very, very much. I know anxiety very much. I know what it is to fear things. Who doesn't? But when we, I wanted to say it like this perhaps. When we are in doubt of something, doubt is really sort of based on a denial and an unacceptance. If we can really start to accept things as they are and then try to become self-responsible and say, those things are the way they are. I may or may not have power to do much about them. What I do have power is to try and help how I want to be, how I want to view things, right? I wrote a poem recently, and in it was more or less, the gist of it was like this. People are always so busy trying to control things and not happy because they can't control. Like if I see someone angry, their anger is based on a frustration, and that frustration was about or had its root or source in the fact that the person can't control the situation. People can become very violent, verbally and worse, when they get upset, frustrated, they can't control the situation. I also can have a bad temper sometimes. When I do it, I instantly say, that's not me being my nowness self. And I said to myself, am I Buddha? Yes. Am I being Buddha today? Nope. You are also it. When do we want to be it? Our joyful, happy, loving nowness self. So, the only one that can ultimately really control you is you. The only one that can ultimately control me is me. Yes, there's mind control. Yes, there's subversions. Yes, there's temptations and a vast variety of suggestions in the world. Look at the advertisements, look at commercials, look at music videos, this, that, and the other. You have to eat, you have to buy clothing, you go to the store, you want to buy music. You're there doing that. Do you want to do this? I want to do this. And all this stuff. You take a walk on the street and a bus passes by and has a big advertisement on the side of it. Well, These are people's suggestions and their own desires and things that they want to share, or the things they feel. But we, while there is this common theme, the one that can choose how to be for you and I is you, for me to me. When it is said in certain schools of Buddhism, like Zen for example, they say enlightenment can be instant. Yes, it can. We can have moments of it where we are it, and then we sort of revert. But the revert was, people talk about attachment and clinging to things. Well, it's not even just that. We're so used to it that we're afraid to let it go because it's been so embedded in our soul, and we're afraid to step out of it and truly enjoy a better moment. And for some people, and perhaps we're all guilty at one point or another, that we say, my distractions are gone, I don't even like my own company. Or what do I do when I'm doing nothing? I'm bored. There's no reason to be bored. This has to do with we have distanced ourselves from our now, isness, presence, our Buddha mind. But it is like a yin-yang and a contradiction, because when we do clear the clutter away, whatever is stopping us from being, suppressing us from being our Buddha mind, our Christ consciousness, when we put it down, we realize, oh, this is good. All the blah blah blah, what is the term, the excess mind chatter, what is the term, the dialogues, the inner struggle, the strife, the dualities, when we can stop them for a moment, and at any moment say, now I'm stopping it. It's relief. Because the highest mind, to call it that, or the full heart, and both together, is not misery. By any means, it is joy, it is contentment, it is understanding. It is tolerance for others, because we come to realize names or no names, religions, no religions, philosophies, none of those things. It is an isness apart from that. We all are it, we all can have it. So we realize anyone can have it. The real essence of compassion is to realize, oh, I feel for you. I understand that you are also Buddha, you are also Christ, and you've cluttered yourself and you're staying with these things. If you could release them, you would be content. I say this to myself. I can go in the mirror and say that exact same sentence. I have children, young children, at the time of this video, and I know what frustration can be like. Oh yes, indeed. When they're fighting and whining over nothing really important, but they're learning, they're developing. But if they're fighting over a toy, I'm like, well, why do that? You can have one, and whatever. So you're trying to make a resolution and resolve it. But yeah, being sleep deprived and hearing their frustrations, it takes me down from my cloud. I have to be in that now. And then I say, well, do I want to be my happy, content, self-controlled self in that now? Or am I going to allow my frustrations and emotions to get a control of me? Sometimes it is certainly easier said than done. Oh yes. I'm not really sure how to close the video, but as was a very good technique taught by Buddhists and yogis, even before them, and mystics all over the world, is when you're feeling frustration, or if you want to find yourself in the now and find that Buddha mind, you can do it. I can do it. Even just close your eyes for 5 or 10 seconds and take a nice big breath. Here I am. I can choose happiness right now. Breathe out all the bad stuff. One of the nicest meditations techniques that I had heard from yogis was to do this. Breathe in and take God's love. Take the nowness, joy. And when you exhale, exhale all your pains, your sufferings, your sorrow, your frustration. Get rid of it. Let it go. do this once, twice, many times, it does work. It's one way. Did you ever ask yourself, did you ever look in the mirror, not in a vanity way, not in an insecure way, but I mean look at yourself in the mirror really, eyes to eyes, and say, I am beautiful, I am a loving, eternal being. Try it. Do it after the video, do it next week, don't do it at all, whatever. But maybe you might want to try it sometime. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am a beautiful, eternal being. Never mind body, never mind expectations of myself and what others have. I am it. I already am it. Whatever is saying no, that is the clutter and the nonsense stopping you. And the funny thing is, it's not even our nonsense. It's just like meaning individually. It's the common themes of things. It's our guilts and our troubles that keep us from being that. Ask yourself then, never mind my own opinions, but ask yourself, what is stopping you from attaining your calm Buddha mind? Because you and I can do this. It has to be sought after, it has to be individual choice, it has to be self-activated or self-actualized, I don't know how you want to call it, but we can do it. I guess I'll just close with that for now. But I was having some music, well, not music, oh, it is music. I was having my ocean sounds. My wife had bought a CD of the ocean. The waves crashing in, the tide. I think the machine is skipping a bit often, but how appropriate then to the video, and it wasn't planned, but how appropriate. I'm not even sure if you can hear it, but there's a small CD player in my room here. The ebb and flow of the universe, breathing out, breathing in. A little skip here and there, a little glitch in the matrix, but don't let it. Let's not let it take us down. It's not really me. We can say that to ourselves. It's not really me. It's not my best self. It's not my highest self. It's good to have a concept and an idea that we can be always a higher self, a better part, and to get there and then be it even in an instant. Because it is natural. It's common, and it's oh so very natural. We do it in a style that works for us individually. We can use the name that suits us individually. We don't tell another how to do it. You can't control somebody else, just yourself. How excellent it is when we have this nice awareness that it is common, even despite all of our styles and preferences. Love and joy is one, laughter is one thing. I have personally having come from Ottawa, Canada, have had friends of every color and race under the sun. And I've laughed with them all. We've had sleepovers in each other's houses. See, cultures, religions aside, even just laughter, looking at that, is only one joy. Everybody knows that, but we don't meditate on it or want to be it. We're always waiting for something to make us laugh. I want to laugh, I'll watch a comedy. Sure, we can do it. There's nothing wrong with it. But when the movie's over, then to go back to your normal self and not be full of joy or something like that, well, maybe we can't always be giddy and laughing and full of laughter. But what I'm saying is it doesn't have to be up to something else to give us the joy. It has to be self-activated. Just say yes. Just take 1 second to say yes. It doesn't mean all the troubles will go away. People can get frustrated Because they say, well, I feel this way, but then I still gotta go deal with all these things. Sure, we all have to deal with our own messy lives. But they can stop being so messy, or a little bit less, a little bit less. We are mortal, as for the body. We are going to die already. So we can wait for happiness or wait for a release from suffering, or we can choose it right now. At any now that we may choose to do it. Well, thoughts for the day. Maybe I rambled too long. Maybe not. Anyways, take that with you. I'll try and take this with me if we like. Realizing the now. A good mode of being within the great being. We can do it, we can choose it, and happily, and stay in that, or always return to it. Mindfully, soulfully, truthfully. There's no words for it. The feeling of contentment or the laughter, that's it. Well, Namaste to you. Well, I will have more videos to come. Maybe I'll share some of my newer poetry in a little bit. We should have a good now, a good moment, ongoing. Catch you on the flip side. Bye.